Hi grades 4, I hope you're doing well. So for your today's work in math, you're working on your textbook and you should be opening to page 62. It is exercise practice 2D. Okay, now after you're done your first half of the page, so it is either dividing or multiplying, you move to, it says question 5 and it says estimate and then multiply. And then question 6 says estimate and then divide. Now, I don't want you to estimate. I just want you to multiply or divide. Okay, so you don't need to do the estimation. Okay, and then when you move to question 7, so I am going to help you with a bit of these questions so that you can finish your work for today. Okay, so let's get started with question after you're done the top part. I'm starting with question 7. Okay, so now question 7 says, Mrs. King poured 6 quarts of syrup equally into 4 bottles. How much syrup was there in each bottle? Okay, remember we are working with decimal. So 6, we would be dividing 6.0 to 4. Okay, so 6 divided by 4. Okay, remember when we are dividing, so this is what you need to do. We are dividing 6.0 to 4. Okay, that's what you need to do for question 7. Okay, once you're done your question, Perry and Jacob, that's when you can actually remember the answer keys I gave you. You can go to your review 2D or practice 2D. Once you're done your question, then you can go ahead and check your answer, okay? But for this one, I'll show you how we do it, just so that you are, it's a bit of a refresher for you, okay? So even though we are going, it says 6 divided by 4 because there's 6 quarts of syrup equally into 4 bottles. So we know that it's a division problem, right? So I'm gonna divide my 6.0 to my 4. So let's go ahead. How many 4s do I need to make a 6 or something closer to a 6? I can only fit 1 4, right? So 4 times 1 gives me 4. Then I am left, I'm going to subtract, I'm left with 2. And then I put a decimal and I bring my 0 down. Okay, I put my decimal at the top. Now, what do I need to make 20 in 4 times table? So obviously it is 4 times 5 would give me 20, right? So how much syrup was in each bottle? 1.5, right? So that's 1.5 quart of syrup was in each bottle. Once you're done your word problems, please remember to write a sentence because word problems are not done if you do not have a sentence yet, right? Let's go to our question 8. Question 8 says, okay, so we have question 8. It says 1 liter of gas. Okay, so it says 1 liter of gas weighs 1.5 kg. What is the weight of 6 liters of gas? So we know if 1 liter costs, it's 1.5 kg, 1 liter of gas weighs 1.5 kg. So if that's the weight of 1 liter, what is the weight of 6 liters of gas? Is it going to be more or is it going to be less? It's going to be more. So for more, what do? We multiply, okay? So let's go ahead and we know 1 liter is equal 1.25. So we do 1 point, so this is question 8. Okay, so 1.25, and we're gonna multiply it to 6. Okay, so go ahead and do that. 1.25 kg times 6. Okay, and that is going to give us our answer. Once you are done that, again, only when you're done. Remember, Miss David isn't watching you. God's watching you. So only and only when you're done, then you can check your answer from your answer key. So that is question 8. And for question 8, we need to multiply 1.5 kg to 6 liters. Okay, Once you're done, you will write down what is the weight of 6 liters of gas. The weight of 6 liters of gas is da 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 da. Okay? Let's go to question 8 and see what kind of operation we need to do for this question. Okay? So the question is, a ribbon 6.75 yard long is cut into 5 equal pieces. How long is each piece? So we know that 5 pieces, they are 6.75 yard. So one piece would be, now we are going from 5 equal pieces to they want us to know one piece. So when we go from many to less, what do we do? Do we multiply or do we do division? So we do division, right? So let's go ahead and for question 9, okay, so you're going to divide 6.75 yards to 5 because that's how many pieces they have, but they want to find out how long is each piece. Okay, so again, when you are done dividing 6.75 to 5 and you have your answer or quotient at the top, only when you're done, then you can go ahead and check your answers from the answer key. Okay, so for question 9, our operation would be division. Okay, and now let's go ahead and see what we need to do for question 10. Okay, so for question 10, it is Dan spent $3 on string and $1.40 on beads to make 1 pot of hanger. How much will it cost him to make 4 pot hangers? Sorry, did I read that right? Let me do it again. Dan spent $3 on string and $1.40 on beads to make 1 pot hanger. How much will it cost him to make 4 pot hangers? Okay, so let's go ahead and it's going to be a 2-part problem. Okay, so we know 1 pot hanger costs 3, right? It costs, so he spent on $3 on $3 on string and $1.40 on beads to make 1 pot hanger. Okay, so we are going to do, what we're going to do is we're going to combine our dollars first. Okay, so we are going to do $3 plus $1.40. Okay, that's your first step to the problem, which is question 10. Okay, so for question 10, it's 2-part problem. So our first step is to add up our dollars. Okay, once we are done adding up our dollars, now whatever answer you get, grades 4, listen up. So whatever answer you get, you are going to multiply it to 4. Okay, so this answer, whatever answer you get, okay, actually, let's go ahead and do it. So 0 and 0 gives me 0. 0 plus 4 gives me 4. And then I put my decimal, and then 3 plus 1 gives me 4. Now, our next job is they want to know, well, how much will it cost him to make 4 pot hangers? Okay, so 4.40 is for 1, right? 1 pot hanger. We need to find out for 4. So that's why we are going to multiply our answer to 4. So part 1 was adding up our cost. Part 2 is multiplying our cost to 4. Does that make sense? Only and only when you are done this part, along with your answer or along with your sentence, which would be, it will cost him for 4 pot hanger. Once you're done, go to your answer sheet, find out the answer for 10. Question 10 in practice 2D. Okay, we have 2 more questions left, and let's see what kind of operation we need to do for question 11. Okay, so let's go to question 11, and it says, let's read it together. When a box contains 6 bars of chocolate, it weighs 2.34 kg. The box, when empty, weighs 0.06 kg. Find the weight of 1 bar of chocolate. Okay, that's question 11. Now let's look at it. We know that 6 units equal, so 6 bars would equal, how much would they equal? They would equal 2.34 kg, right? So again, this would be a 2-part problem too. So we go ahead and they want to know how much would 1 bar cost, right? So our first step is we need to subtract, right? Because it says 6 bars of chocolate, a box contains, it has 6 bars, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It weighs 2.34 kg. The box, when empty, weighs 0.6 kg. Find the weight of 1 bar of chocolate. So first of all, we need to find, well, how much do the chocolates weigh altogether, right? So we need to subtract 2.34 kg, subtract 0.06, right? That's my first step. So that would give me, I would have to borrow 14, take away 6 gives me 8. I'm left with 2 here. So 2 take away 0 is 2. I put my decimal, and 2 take away 0 again gives me 2. So chocolate bars alone, they weigh 2.28 kg, right? Now let's go ahead and we need to divide up this number to 6, because how many bars are there? There are 6 bars. So that's your second step, which you are going to do on your own, okay? So 2.28 divided by 6. So you need to go ahead and you need to do that. And grades 4, again, only and only when you are done and you have a quotient or your answer here and your sentence, which would be 1 bar of chocolate weighs whatever this answer is, only and only then can you go and check on your answer key whether you got it right or not, okay? If you didn't get it right, chances are you just need to double check your division, right? Because we did one part, I did it with you. Second part, I would like you to try on your own. Okay, let's go to our last question for this practice. Our last question is, Maria paid $8.25 for a book and a comic. The book cost twice as much as the comic. Find the cost of the book. Okay, so let's go ahead. We know there are 3 things, right? There's Maria paid, for a book and a comic book. Okay, so we know that she paid how much? $8.25, right? She paid that much. Now, we need to divide it up between, but the book costs twice as much. So we are kind of going to add, so there's book and there's comic book. But this book costs twice as much. That means you can get 2 comic books at the price of 1 book. So basically we have, imagine, 3 comic books to work with, okay? So because she paid the price. So for example, if this was 1 comic book, if you were to trade it, you wouldn't get 1 book. But if you were to give your book, you could get 2 comic books, okay? So basically we are working with 3 comic books, let's say, okay? So we know that if we were interested in 3 comic books, it would be $8.25. So basically we need to find out, well, if there were 2 comic books, what they would be equal to 1 book. So we are technically trying to find out the price of 2 comic books, because we want to find, because that would be the cost of 1 book. They want to know what is the cost of one book. Okay, so let's go ahead. $8.25, and we need to divide it to 3. Why? Because again, book costs twice as much, so there's twice as much plus a comic book. So that's why we are using 3 units. Does that make sense? So that's your first step. Our first step is we need to divide up. So let's go ahead and let's do that, because this is also a 2-part problem. I will do first part with you, then you go ahead and try the second part, okay? So here we go. Divided by 3. So how many 3s would fit into 8? We would need 2 3s because they would give us 6. Then we subtracted. I put my 2 down. Don't forget your decimal. Then I bring this 2 down, right? What can I get? How many 3s would I need to make something that is 22 or closer to? So it would be 3 times 7 gives me 21, right? Then I do my subtraction again. Now I can bring my 5 down, and 3 times 5 gives me 15. Okay, so my answer, not my answer, the first half of the problem is done. So I got $2.75. Now we know that $2.75, that is 1 unit, that is the price of 1 book. Okay, now we need to go ahead and we need to multiply our 2.75 to 2. That is the price. That would be the price of, so they're saying the book costs twice as much as the comic. Find the cost of the book. So this would give us the price of our book. Okay, so let's go ahead, and here's your second part of the problem. You need to multiply 2.75 to 2, okay? Because book costs twice as much as the comic book. So this is the price of the comic book, $2.75. Let's go ahead and we need to multiply 2 to 2.75. Once you're done and you have your sentence down, then you will, so your answer would be the cost of the book is da-da-da-da-da. Then you can go ahead and look up your answer from your answer key, okay? So this was your practice 2D, and this was your last question, okay? And I hope that you were able to get your answers right, and I will see you next time for our next lesson.